Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson this evening, and I'm still waiting for my brothers so that we can start the topic of today, whereby we are going to discuss the issues that are on the political landscape. Let me take this opportunity to thank everyone again who will be joining us or those who are watching us currently. I know it has been one of the toughest week. We have the finance bill. I saw today the CS Treasury Mbadi was in Jivanji Gardens and he was trying to have a conversation with the public, especially concerning the finance bill. And there are quite a number of people who, especially, are saying that the finance bill, there are some um, areas that actually will send out investors and with the tax. So I need an expert to talk about the finance bill because one thing that I usually like is that just don't talk. At least to have somebody to give us insight, somebody who is well knowledgeable, especially when it comes to issues to do with tax. So that you can give a good information to the public. There are quite a lot that is happening, and I will go internationally. Let's go to Senegal. You all know how the administration of FAI came into formation. Remember, they have Sonko, who was a very, very, very popular amongst the Senegalese, and he supported FAI, and they won the presidential election that was in Senegal. And immediately after winning this presidential election, the president, that is Faye, appointed Sonko as the prime minister of that country. But along the way, maybe they disagreed. Politics is all about interest, and their interest is not were not merging. So what happened? They disagreed, and Faye really demoted, or would I say that demoted? Not even demoted, but chased. Yeah, alimfukuza prime minister, akamwambia akamng'oa katika mamlakani. But the interesting part is this: the Sonko is now the Speaker of the National Assembly in Senegal, and that one has happened. There was election that the voting that was done in Parliament, where they say that opposition leaders did not participate. So as we speak right now, Sonko is the Speaker of the National Assembly, especially in Senegal. So how is that one going to play out, bearing in mind that that is a legislative, then we have the executive. How is that one going to play out, especially with um, both the president, like the speaker is the president of the house, and we have the FI as the executive, is the president of the president of the executive. How are they going to work with those political differences? We will be watching and um, waiting to see how it will unfold. So that is quite much interesting to know, and that one should be a lesson, especially when the formation, especially are being formed, and when you look at what is happening currently, especially in our political field, where we have the united opposition and we have the government. The united opposition, they are having this notion that they want to um, come together and produce one candidate. And their main aim is the first list on the agenda is to make sure that President William Ruto becomes one term president. But how prepared are they aftermath? Because remember, all the united opposition principles, they have different interests, apart from them saying that they want to make President William Ruto one-term president. But looking at, they will be going for 1 year, maybe 5 years, I mean. How are they going to make sure that their interests are catered for? We have Rigathi Gachagua, we have Matiang'i, we have Eugene Wamalwa. Maybe if Sifuna or Rengo joined the united opposition to make sure that President William Ruto does not get his second term, how are they going to accommodate their interest for 5 years? Yeah, if you look at what has happened in Senegal, and those are some of the things that have always happened. Even if you look at our coalitions, especially you look at our election, when we are going to for election, you find that the political parties or the leaders will sign those coalition pacts. But what happened immediately after signing those pacts? After the election, or maybe 1 year after election, you see there's a disagreement, and that one also destabilize or sometimes bring turmoil into the serving government, when now different interests are being pursued. So look what happened between President William Ruto and former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Look at what happened between Rigathi Gachagua and President William Ruto. These are look at even in the I mean, like in the Azimio, what happened? They're not together because maybe their interests are not merging. So it is a very good lesson, a case study, I would say, for the united opposition to learn from it. And maybe if they will be signing those pacts, they have to look at post election. If in case or by any chance if they win, how are they going to deal with the merging interest, especially of the principal, so that they can stick together until maybe 5 years? Yeah, so that is something that they should take keen look of it. And and even not that, even the president himself, because like right now they are talking of having coalition with ODM, which we are going to talk also about it. What is post election? Because right now president is looking at how can he get his second term, and he have to put in strategies and work with uh, uh, parties like ODM, whereby they are having negotiation right now. According to the members of ODM and the leadership of ODM, they're in broad-based government. And the broad-based government, I heard Gladys Wanga was talking about, like, when they go into broad-based government, they will have 50-50. That UDA will give 50-50, or I don't know whether if Kenya Kwanza or UDA, but UDA and ODM also will get 50. So it means if presidential candidate comes from UDA, then the deputy president will come from ODM, and that is now we are questioning who is going to be the president, a deputy president. We will come into that. So thank you so much, Judith. I hope you're doing well. This is Brother Benson. I'm still joining. I'm still waiting for Makobura to join us here. Let me bring you to speed. We want to talk about ODM news because it's something worth talking about, especially when you look at politics. ODM are having a major political rally that will take place in Kisumu on 31st, and they call it the Declaration. That will be one of those rallies that we will look at it keenly, because we will look at who are the leaders who are going to join that rally and who is not going to join. But that's on aside. Yesterday, Oburu Odinga, who is the party leader of ODM, said that he's going to defend his senatorial seat. And Oburu has been flip-flopping, especially when it comes to the position, especially as the party leader of ODM. Remember, there was a time he said he's going to run for presidency. Then the other time he said that they're not looking for deputy president when they were in Kisumu. Then again today, he said that he's going to defend his Siaya senatorial seat. And what does this one mean? Most of the time, if you're very keen, when you listen to or Oburu talking, he usually says that ODM party leader is usually the presidential candidate by default. That's how it is. By default, the ODM party leader should be a presidential candidate. But when he declared that he's not going to run for presidential or he's not going to run for presidency, as they go for uh, uh, as they go for as they go for negotiation, what does that word mean, especially for UDA? So, which means in UDA, when they will be going for negotiation, so for the executive, I don't think they're going to negotiate about, because like ODM has decided that they're not going to to based on what Oburu has said, that so that the presidency they're not going to talk about. And what does that one, this one mean to ODM? To me, one of the things that this one means to me, especially when you're looking at ODM, it means it's making ODM weaker. Remember, ODM right now, when you look at the history, ODM has always had a presidential candidate in each and every election that we've had, and that one has been the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, the late now, and this one has been a driving force, especially to members of ODM, especially if their candidate is in the ticket. But right now, the 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 ODM, they do not have presidential candidate. So this one means that ODM, while going on negotiation, they are going to be weaker. Two, what does also this one has also exposed? This one has also exposed that Oburu Odinga is very weak in his leadership in ODM, especially this early to say that I'm going to defend my seat. I think it could have been better if Oburu Odinga could have just maybe waited until just about when people they're just about to go to election, or 3 months to election, when they usually sign this memorandum of understanding or a coalition pact. Then that what could have happened. True. What does one mean to Linda Wananchi? So it means the factions of Sifuna have won, because remember, one of the issues that Sifuna and Orengo were having with the factions of Oburu was about the presidential candidate for the party. That was what they were contesting about, the um, presidential candidate for the party. But now, the way Oburu has declared that he's going to defend his seat, what does that one mean to Orengo? Because Orengo has declared himself as the de facto leader of ODM, or the party leader, especially to the Linda Wananchi. Yeah. So that one is a big win for the Sifuna and Orengo. Secondly, also the news about ODM. Yesterday, when they were having their consultative meeting, especially from the chair, they decided to fold the Linda Mwananchi. And they decided and say that the Linda Wananchi, the Linda ground, the Linda ground, they're going to abandon that slogan or that group of Linda ground now, and they declared that we have only one ODM. That one also, I think, is a plus to 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 Edwin and Orengo faction, because remember, the people who the people who came up with Linda Mwananchi or Linda Ground were Gladys Wanga. Then later, Sifuna came up with Linda Wananchi. And from the look of things, you find that the Linda Mwananchi has been gaining traction, even from the pollsters that is being done. He's showing that the Linda ground is not popular among it, especially the lovers of ODM. So by them folding that, or by them exiting that, they want to make sure that when even the polls are done, uh, when the polls are done, then they should at least not talk about Linda ground. Makobura, how are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing good. I'm well,
Yes.
and yeah, I thank God. I can see Jonathan is asking. I
Mm.
don't know whether Jonathan is asking what is this all about. I don't know whether you've updated Jonathan.
You
I
you
should
can
update.
you can go ahead and update it.
Okay, thank you so much. As
Yeah.
usual, this is Brother Benson Media. We also live on our sister channel Kikao na Sauti.
Mm,
To everyone who is watching, over here we do discuss issues or matters pertaining to our country and, of course, the whole world.
mhm.
More of it is political, so you're all welcomed to give your views, to participate.
Yeah.
And again, if they're watching for the first time, we request that they just like and subscribe because if they do so, it is a way of supporting us. Na sisi hapa, as usual, tutasema ni
Mm,
asante.
yeah. Okay.
Allow me to say hi to Judith, and I've also seen our good friend who. Oh, this is good year. Oh, good year, long time. Nice to see you. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for finding time to join us this evening.
Okay, Makobura, thank you so much. As I started my conversation, and I was talking about what is happening in Senegal, especially if you have a little bit of history on how the Faye and Sonko really came into power. Remember, Sonko had a massive following. Even yesterday, the other day, he was on the street. A majority of Senegalese were with him on the street. When you look at how the formation of that government came, and now there's that differences that they are experiencing to an extent whereby now, right now, the news that we have is Sonko is now the Speaker of the National Assembly of that country. Now he heads the legislative, yet then the FAI heads the executive. And remember, they have political differences. What can the united opposition learn? Because, like, if they unite the way they say that they want to unite and make sure that President William Ruto becomes one term, what can they learn from what has happened so that they can manage their interest, so they can even be in power just in case if they win for another 10 years?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. And first, allow me to also just give my view on my understanding on the politics of Senegal.
Hmm.
Senegal is part of Africa, and whatever is affecting Senegal partly affects. It is within the continent of Africa, so
Yes.
it partly affects the other parts of the nations within this continent. But to just clarify something again, remember Kenya and Senegal are like partners.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many things that they do together. We've seen the president of Senegal since his election. He's been in office for 2 years and some months, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
He's been in this country, Kenya, for for twice,
Hmm.
and that tells you that the relationship is, Kenya and Senegal shares much in
Yeah.
terms of economical, in terms of quite a lot. But
Yeah.
again, what happened really shook the continent, because remember, if you are someone who is following the politics of Africa, you'll realize that
Hmm.
uh, the president Basiroi Diomaye Faye
Hmm.
and Osman Sonko,
Hmm.
they were all opposition leaders. But at one point, because Sonko was unable to go for presidency at that particular time, just because he had a political difference with the former president, and of course, the constitution was partly barring him from contesting. So what he did is, of course, he was an opposition leader together with the likes of Diomaye, and they
Yeah.
joined hands, worked together, and they ensured that they got, the presidency.
Mm-hmm.
The truth of the matter is, Sonko was a mobilizer. Sonko was loved more than Diomaye.
Yeah.
Fine. But what happened is, because of what being that he was not able to vie,
Mm-hmm.
he agreed to support Diomaye.
Mm-hmm.
And along the way, they started having political differences, and the
Mm-hmm.
political differences were then coming at a point where, um, I remember, Sonko was now the prime minister, and most of the things he was, partly from my understanding, he was doing the running of the government, as the president was, doing the face value of the presidency. So
Mm.
it came to a point where majority of the decisions that he made partly were not welcomed by the president, and again the president also made some decisions without consultation. So
Mm-hmm.
both of them did not. At some point, there's that accusation that they were not consulting each other. It's
Yeah.
like they were like two president, and that then made Diomaye fight to simply send Sonko home. So what happened then later is, you find that after the removal, the president dismissed the prime minister,
Mm.
citing I can call it irreconcilable
Yeah.
policy differences, according to what the media had reported. And so the government was dissolved as well, marking the gravest institutional stress test
Mm-hmm.
since this particular duos got to power. But again, you find that Speaker El Malik Diai resigned shortly, clearing the reason why he actually resigned. Remember, this speaker was coming from the political party of Bwana Sonko.
Yeah.
So he did this intentionally. He resigned as a way of trying to cover or give space to his boss, who is Sonko.
Okay.
And after that, of course, the Sonko's party has majority in the parliament. So Sonko found it easy taking over as the speaker of that particular country. But again, according to their constitution, the speaker is the number two. So again, what we saw in today is the appointment of we saw the appointment of the president appointing Al is called Al Madou Al
Almado.
Aminou,
Yeah.
who is
As
also a veteran economist with experience. He was uh, he was appointed to the central. I mean, he has worked in the central bank of that particular country as
mm-hmm.
a, but now he's been given the opportunity to serve as the prime minister. So I think this simply tells you that politics is all about interest, and if the interests are not converging together, what
Mm-hmm.
you will see is the differences that similar to the ones that we are seeing. But again, that is a lesson to us as a people. It is a lesson to us as Kenyans, because we've seen quite a number of leaders, including the political leaders within the opposition. They are
Mm-hmm.
coming out to say that they are not happy with the ruling of President William Samoei Ruto. The only thing they can do currently is joining hands, and then joining hands in the sense that working together, putting down all the political differences that are there within, and joining hands to support somebody who is having partly a clean record, or who is having a good opportunity to get to that particular position. And that again goes back to the likes of Gashagwa, that goes back to the likes of Kalonzo and the other ones. They're supposed to know that unity within the opposition is what will save them, and that is what saved these other guys. But again, they should also get to know that as much as there are going to be political differences, they should be prepared. They should prepare enough for that particular move as well.
All right, thank you so much. I can see my brother Msimamo too is here. Let me take this opportunity to thank the following. Nola Oragi is watching us all the way from Nairobi. Is on the Facebook page. We also have Adasha. To thank you so much for joining us through Facebook. We really, really appreciate your time. Before I invite my good friend Musimamo, if you look at the political, especially when it comes to uh, the political pact that's are formed, especially to at the moment to solve the crisis. You look at even when Raila and Kibaki came into power, after Moi, it was not smooth. There was pull and push, especially in that government. The interest, it ended up Raila had to run against President Kibaki in 2007, which it was said that Raila won. You know, then again, we saw President William Ruto coming with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Their first term was at least, the second term was very horrible. They were not agreeing. We saw that happened with the Rigathi Gachagua, especially in this coalition. Not to mention even Azimio on how they've sometimes disintegrated. So these are some of the things that, especially the united opposition, they should learn. Especially, how are they going to, first of all, come together if they feel like, which is true, that for them to defeat President William Ruto, they have to come together, all of them, because that one will give them at least a better percentage for the win in the first round. Secondly, they also have to come up with modalities and methodologies and the strategies on how they are going to maintain the government if they win, or they maintain the opposition if they lose, for the next cycle of election. Because when the interest, usually there's a push and pull of interest, those are some of the things that we are going to experience, or that's something that they are going to experience. So they have to come up with the strategies on how to deal with those external and internal pressures, especially when it comes to coalition, so that they can achieve what they want for the country, or they can achieve their political desire when they say they want to take out President William Ruto. Msimamo habari gani?
Nzuri kakaangu, hali vipi?
Sema.
Ndugu yangu Mark naye chukue zangu hapa,
Mm,
na wale ndugu zangu upande mwingine wa pili.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, asante sana. Thank you very much. We were having conversation about, especially I started with the conversation of ODM. What does it mean, especially when the party leader of ODM is declaring to defend his senatorial seat? And as they say that the constitution of ODM puts or give the party leader the opportunity or the powers to run for presidency. What does this one mean, especially for ODM? And this is happening at a point when they've not started negotiation with UDA about the position. And what does this one mean about the leadership of ODM, the leadership of Oburu Odinga in ODM? And again, when you look at that, what does it mean for Edwin Sifuna and the group of Orengo? Let me start with you. Msimamo.
Maze, maybe you can start with Mark. You know, there's some nani sikuzipata poa on that question.
All right, wewe basi wacha nakuuliza, but Mark, maybe in brief, what do you have to say about Oburu declaring that he's going to defend his senatorial seat in CIM, yet is the ODM party leader? As you know, they usually say that the ODM party leader is the automatic presidential candidate for the party, and they've not gone for a negotiation.
Okay, thank you so much. Uh, Allow me to say this. Dr. Buru, I don't know whether to say he's the legitimate or I don't know. I don't know how to put it. But according to what is out there is the party leader. But again, there's also the de facto party leader. James Arang, because I don't know who is who. But again, I want to say that the constitution of ODM clarifies that the party leader is the automatic uh, presidential like candidate normally. That is what we've always witnessed. And Dr. Buru is saying that he's going to
Okay, kama nimekupoteza Marco Bura hapo. Haya, wacha tutasubiri, labda nimesikia ni habari gani? At Brother Ben, ODM will not vie for president in 2027. Okay, asante. So does it mean
can you
that
hear
even
me?
okay, go ahead.
You, oh, sorry. I think my internet was a little bit yeah. I wanted to say that what is happening is very clear. Dr. Buru is partly fearful because at some point, remember some few days ago, he had said that he was going to go for presidency.
Mhm.
So him coming out again to say that he's going to defend his seat is partly confusing to the party and partly confusing to his supporters as well, and the supporters of the party. My thinking is, well, he has the leeway of making that particular decision on whether he's going to go to defend his current seat or he's going for something higher. But okay, from where I sit, I think that's an advice that has been given by the president. And since they are getting into a coalition agreement, one that is partly going to allow them to fight for the presidency using the UDA or the arrangement with the UDA. What I can say is that it could be that he's been promised some political seat, either cabinet secretary position, something like that. So he's in one way or another, even if he goes there and is defeated, he has nothing to lose.
Okay.
But that again would be pegged on the president wins. But to me, if you ask me, I wouldn't advise him to go for re-election in that particular seat. The best advice I can give him is partly to leave that particular seat for some young people who can do it, and he waits for maybe an appointment if the UDA wins or if the arrangement wins. But in this particular point, there are so many. He has done nothing actually as a senator for Siaya.
Mm-hmm.
I come from Nyanza. If you ask me, he has done nothing much for Siaya. He's
But
not been
Marco Bura,
doing
there's
anything.
there's something here.
Best.
There's something here that we at some point. Sorry for cutting you off, but like there's something here that we might to have a discussion about, especially when even you've said it there that he has done nothing for Siaya people. What should he do, or what should a senator do for the people?
This is what I mean.
Mhm,
This is what I mean.
mhm,
First, I want to accept the fact that the senators, as much as they have a role within that particular constitution,
mhm,
but I want to say that their work is partly limited. Limited to an extent that sometimes they do little again to the extent that the people will not feel much of their presence.
mhm,
The only people that are felt are the ones who are at uh, the audit and accounts committee, the likes of Senator of Omabe, the likes of the ones that we always seen interacting with the CEOs of the counties.
mhm,
Well, I understand the role of Parliament. Parliament does a lot. There are so many things that partly they do behind the scene
mhm,
that probably we might not know. But again, more of laws are made in the National Assembly, that is by the members of Parliament.
mhm,
Part of the biggest role by the senators are ensuring that the counties are functioning, ensuring that the counties are well funded, and again ensuring that whatever funds have been taken to the counties,
mhm.
the appropriation committee has done as per the wishes of the people.
Yeah.
In short, they are like the let me say the prefects. of the counties.
Mm.
Well, you've heard not once, several times that James Orengo has done nothing.
Mhm.
Have you heard that?
Yeah, that is something that is in the ground. Not
If
only.
James Orengo has done nothing, according to the people who are saying so, then the senator himself has also done nothing. Number
Yes.
two, number two, since the appointment of Dr. Buru as the party leader, he's been limited to the people of Sia and the functions that is prescribed that he's supposed to be performing as a senator. Most of time, he's on move here and there, something that is partly affecting his performance as a senator. With him being the party leader of that particular political party, he needs then to leave the elective positions. We've seen the party leaders not going for the smaller positions like the senators or the members of parliament. As a party leader, he needs to be firm enough to ensure that he fights for something bigger, not going to fight with these juniors. Remember, you're the party leader, and then you're going to fight with the juniors in a parliamentary seat. It doesn't sound good, it doesn't look good because what has been seen in the Republic of Kenya, the bar has been raised. So let him just respect the bar that has been raised. And of course, do as per others are doing.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Msimamo, kabla tujaenda kwa mada ya leo, mi nataka nikuulize maswali kwa sababu tutaanzia pale Makbura aliyoachia kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Daktari Oburu Odinga amesema kuwa atakuwa anapigania kiti chake cha useneta kule Siaya, na vile vile tunajua yeye ndio kiongozi wa chama, na mara mingi tunaambiwa kwamba katika chama cha ODM kama wewe ndio party leader ama kama wewe ndio kiongozi mkuu wa chama, inafaa uwanie tiketi cha urais. Lazima uende upiganie, uende kwa debe, hata kama mtaingia katika mazungumzo na vyama vingine, lakini jambo la kwanza ni kuwa lazima ukue kama presidential candidate when you're going for a negotiation. Unadhani hii inaashiria nini sana sana ukiangalia kwa uongozi wa Oburu Odinga? Ni kwamba ameogopa siasa za national politics, ndio maana amesema kwamba yeye anarudi Siaya, ama ni nini?
Asante ndugu yangu Ben, kwa swali hilo. Awali ya yote nitangulia kuwasalimia ndugu zangu wale wa comment section Gudia, baada ya siku mingi, wale wengine wote ambao wako upande huo. Swali lako mimi labda nafikiri Mark ameliweka vizuri zaidi,
Mm.
lakini mimi nitaongeza tu kiducho hapo kwamba dalili ya mvua ni mawingu. Najua mzee amebandikwa mahali ambapo kwa kweli ni pagumu mno kutokana na jua hili lenye limezama. Ni amerudi kuwa Gen Z kama anavyosema mwenyewe kwamba mimi pia ni Gen Z, na ni haki ni Gen Z kwa sababu amerudi katika hiyo hali, kiasi kwamba majukumu sasa hivi ambayo ametwikwa ni magumu mno, yanahitaji nguvu kazi. Unajua baba alikuwa pale, lakini alianzia akiwa nguvu kazi, akaenda mpaka akafika mahali alikuwa amefika. Lakini alipopewa hiki kijiti hiki, kakipewa wakati ambao kwa kweli haswa ni wakati wa changamoto mno. Ni bora hata kama kungekuwa kumetulia, tena kuna mgawanyiko ndani ya chama, unaona, na pia joto la kisiasa jinsi lilivyo la hii mwaka ni tofauti na miaka mingine. So unakuta maybe haswa sasa kutokana na hali yake ya mtu uzima, labda ameona labda nibaki tu kwa hapa tu kwenye position yangu, na kama ni chama nitakiendesha. Lakini sasa kizungumkuti kinaingia hapa. Je, katiba ya chama inaruhusu namna gani? Kama pale ulipozungumza kwamba katiba ya chama kwa kweli haswa lazima usimame kama presidential candidate, you are the leader of that party, kumaanisha kwamba hata chama chako unatamani unatamia kwamba haswa kiweze kutengeneza uongozi katika serikali ama kutengeneza serikali. So kiukweli sasa unakuta kwamba katika huu mvutano maybe ameona sasa hapa the only way ni kuquit, kutokana kwamba hili zoezi ni kali mno, ni kubwa mno kwangu, na maybe anaweza tangaza hata zaidi. Badala ya hilo tukagundua kwamba pia ametangaza lingine, maybe anaweza akampisha swala mwingine kuweza kuchukua ule usukani wa kuweza kupeleka chama, kimtazamo wangu tu, unaona. Lakini kwa
Mm.
kweli anazo sababu za kufanya hivyo. La mwisho kabisa ni kwamba kimtazamo wangu mimi, nikimalizia, kwamba kutokana na hali ya age alionayo mzee wetu Oburu, basi ningekuwa jambo la mbolea akuweza sasa kuwa mshauri.
Mm.
Yani hilo ni ushauri wa msimamo. Laiti ningekutana naye sasa hivi, ngombe baba, unajua
Mm.
umeanzia mbali, umetengezea mengi, umechangia mengi katika hili taifa. Hata hii seneti wacha chepkizi wachukue,
Mm.
then baki hapo kwa chama, kuwa mshauri aswa wenye tija. Kama mambo hayaendi sawa, walete mahali ambapo kuna mstatili, ili kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba mambo yanaenda sawa kama mtu mzima, kwa sababu amekuwa mtu mzima. Na pia tunahitaji pia aswa isionekane kwamba uh, tunawakataa wazee, lakini pia isionekane kwamba pia tunawanyima nafasi chepukizi. Kuwa na ile balance, kwa kama ni kwa uongozi amekuwa katika nyadhifa tofauti tofauti. Kwa maana hiyo sasa naamini kwamba jua limezama, hili ni
Mm.
wakati kwamba sasa awe mshauri mzee wetu. Mimi ndo langu hilo, kaka Ben, asante.
Asante sana, and thank you very very much, Msimamo. You know, when you look back and see how flip flopping Oburu has been, you know, especially when you look at the leadership of ODM, this is a party that has been there for 20 good years with very strong base. And if you see the party leader coming out quite much early, before even they go for negotiation, to declare that he's going to vie for or defend his senatorial seat in Siaya. First of all, it creates a picture that the party leader, Dr. Oburu Odinga, is not ready for national politics, because once you take the party leader, you will be somebody who is doing engaging in national politics. You know, so as Makobura said earlier, that now you should not at least um, uh, be on the lower cadre of political ranks, especially elective seats, especially now as here. Then secondly, it to me it also exposes the party of weaker leadership, you know, or it or there is a plot that Oburu might be exiting the leadership of ODM, because we've also seen Mbadi has come out strong defending ODM. So it means maybe Oburu he's just exiting. And also we've also seen Junior too, of the son of Raila Molo Odinga, is trying to engage the people. The other day he was at Bunge la Mwananchi Jacaranda. Again, on Sunday also I saw him engaging after church. So it means maybe Oburu is exiting and they're allowing fresh leadership to come. That could be. All right, thank you so much. That was about the news of ODM. Another thing also about the news about ODM, yesterday they had a conference or a forum for the aspirants. And there was one of the aspirants who was coming from, I think, Migori County. He's vying for MCA. He was given an opportunity to speak. Kizungi Kagonga Mwamba, huyo ni kiongozi. So pia, this one also something that we witnessed. Now, Makobura, let's at least go to the discussion of today. This is about President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and President William Ruto. You know, President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and President William Ruto has come a long way. Remember during the ICC, they vied for the Jubilee ticket. They won. After that, they went for the second time. They disagreed. And it seems that there is that political, would I say, bitterness between the two, especially. Just to take you through, yesterday, Uhuru Kenyatta really, I would say, went after the administration of President William Ruto, including the president himself. And there are few things that president mentioned. And this one came at a time when Hassan Omar, who doubles up as a secretary general for the party, made some tribal remarks that did not go well with the majority of the people. And even some leaders are condemning Hassan Omar. At some point, Hassan Omar asked for forgiveness, which people feel like is not enough. But put that one aside. I want just to take you through what Uhuru Kenyatta, especially, was speaking about when he talked about President William Ruto. So, President William Ruto reminded, especially, he was just bringing to speed about some of the pronouncement or some of those comments that are made in public. Uh, um, how this pronouncement made the 2027 208 207 208, and he reminded people of that. He also went against the Kenya Kwanza government having abandoned their mandate. What they should do instead, they were blaming President William Ruto. They're blaming Kenyatta for everything in the community. That is something that I had president talked about, and and BC singing and the praise. He also talked about the struggling of uh, the commoners, especially the household struggling, where the fuel prices has gone up and pushing the cost of living to be high. And instead of government tackling that, they are using those comments to distract the public out of it. That is also something. He also accused the regime of President William Ruto, that is Ruto and his regime, about soaring, about funding tribal divisions and political disruption rather than governing. Hawatoi uongozi bora, lakini wanaleta mgawanyiko za ukabila. He also warned them against divisive politics, which might bring in post-election violence. And he also reminded Kenyans that the elected president, the people who praise and worship team, yeah. So this did not go well with some of the President William Ruto allies, including Oscar Sudi, Harun Cheruyot. So we are seeing President William Uhuru then come again and say that I want you. To start with you, Makubura, what do you say, or what can you say about the political statements that were made by Uhuru Kenyatta regarding the Ruto administration and the Ruto allies?
Okay, thank you so much. I think and I believe that the former president is being truthful. He's truthful in the sense that all those things that he was saying are typically true.
Mhm.
And again, I can say that the former president pointed out the inabilities within this government. He reminded the government of what is expected of them. So personally, I do not see why others would view it as a way of him attacking him. It was not an attack. This is just a reminder to the people in government or a reminder to the people at the wheel that they be careful while driving. To me, it is the best or the good thing that you can get from any senior or anybody who has ever had the opportunity within that particular platform. But again, even if they've not had the opportunity,
Mm.
what I can say is that it is always good. Our role as the citizens is always to remind the leaders. If they're getting off the line, you remind them. You remind them of what they promised. And again, most of the times, what we do as a citizen is we try to remind these particular leaders of the things that they promised based on the agenda that they gave out. We pin them down with that. If you told us you're going to build roads, where are the roads? If you told us the prices of the gas cylinder was going to be 300, less than 500 shillings, where
Mhm.
is that? If you told us the prices of refilling a 6 kg would be 800 shillings, where is that? That is part of the question that people are asking. So it cannot be that we at this particular point or at this particular time, people are asking questions. Oh, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is being asked questions of what he did not do while he
Mhm.
was in government. Let them do, the people in government today, let them do their role and what is expected of them. Let
All right.
them not, most of time, whenever they're reminded of their role, the promises that they give the people of Kenya, they don't want to be reminded. They keep digging up and picking the bad or the negative things, and then they want to do what we call justify that. Oh, while you are here, somebody, I don't know, was done what. Well, if he messed, must you
Mhm.
mess? Must you mess that your predecessor messed? It's not right. That's my take.
All right, thank you so much. Msimamo, asante sana. Labda nikuulize swali. Kuna jambo mengi ambayo Uhuru Kenyatta alisema jana wakati ambapo alikuwa na kongamano na wana Jubilee, akasema kuwa yale maneno ya matamshi ambayo yanatolewa na sana sana wale ambao wako katika serikali, ni wale ambao wanagawanya wa Kenya kwa msingi za kikabila. Akaongea akasema kwamba kama kuna shida ambayo labda mko na shida kutatua, leta kwa meza tutatue. Na hili jambo alikuwa anazungumzia mambo ya gharama la maisha ambayo limeenda juu zaidi kulingana na bei za mafuta ambayo pia zimeenda juu, gharama imekuwa juu na pia bei za mafuta. Akasema labda, akasema kwamba kupiga kelele ama kusema haya maneno, leteni mambo tutatue. Na watu wengi wanaona kwamba Rais Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta anaingilia Rais William Ruto, ambapo hata seneta wa Kericho aliuliza, kwani wewe Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta, hakuna kitu kizuri labda unaweza sema kwamba Rais William Ruto alifanya? Wewe kwako vipi? Unaona kwamba ni siasa tu ama kuna ukweli ndani ya vitu ambazo Rais Uhuru alisema?
Wajua kaka, kwanza asante kwa swali lako. Paka ukimfungia kwenye rumu ukimbana na akikasirika, basi ujipange, maana na yeye pia atatafutana kutoka,
Mm.
na kama ni kutoka hapo ambako kujitetea, basi tujiandae kwa kucha na meno na mengine. So nafikiri kosa hapa ni hii regime ilipoingia ilianza na blaming game,
Mm.
lakini kabla haijaingia kabisa, katika kampeni zake zote walianza na kumlaumu sana Uhuru Kenyatta.
Mm.
Hawajamwanza leo.
Mm.
Between 2017 and 2022
Mm.
hakuko na kingine zaidi ya blaming na kulaumu kile ambacho Uhuru anakifanya, na wakiwemo ndani ya serikali wote hao ambao wako sasa hivi, kina
Mm.
Cheriot walikuwemo, wakina Ruto walikuwemo.
Mm.
Baada ya kupata uongozi sasa, still bado ikawa lawama ndio imezidi kupita kiasi.
Ehe.
Lawama ya kwanza tulipata, hii nyumba ni panya, ikiongozwa sana Gachagua mwenyewe wakati ule akiwa upande ule, kwamba tumeachiwa aswa panya, hakuna hata shilingi hapa, jamaa kasomba zote, na ndio maana inabidi tuwatoze ushuru wananchi, ndivyo at least tupunguze na deni ambalo tumeachiwa la trilioni sijui ngapi. Kunaona wewe kando chanzo cha Mkenya kutoza ushuru, lakini baadaye ushuru huu ukaanza kuanza kumulikwa kwa njia nyingi, yani sasa ukaanza kujionyesha live, hauambatani na kile ambacho wamezungumza kwamba walipata empty coffers. tuache hapo sasa. Blaming game ni nyingi mno katika hii serikali kiasi kwamba nashangaa sana, kwa sababu regime tumeziona. Mimi nashukuru regime peke yake ambayo sina kumbukumbu wala sikuiona, yani haipo machoni mwangu kabisa, ni ya mwanzilishi wa hili taifa. Lakini regime ya hayati mzee Moi nilishuhudia mazuri yake, mabaya yake. Ya mheshimiwa Kibaki nilikuwa mtu mzima, nadhani hata nilitia kura yangu 2000 hapo na 7. Then na uongozi wa Uhuru hakukuwa yeyote ambaye anaingia haswa katika mamlaka basi ananyoshea vidole mtangulizi wake, bali wao walianza hapo hapo wakati wa inauguration, lawama hapo hapo tayari na kujipiga kifua hapo hapo tayari. Kwa hiyo ni wakati wao. Kama Uhuru hakufanya hili, wao wafanye, kwa sababu ni wakati wao. Kipi kinawazuia wasifanye? Kwa hiyo unakuta kwamba inafikia wakati kwamba walioshindwa wameshindwa. Kwa kama mmeshindwa, basi tualikeni, tuwaelekeze haswa jinsi ya kuweza kupeleka mambo kwa njia ambayo itakuwa na mufti, si haya ambayo yamefikia hatua kwamba hata kabila nalo limelengwa sasa hivi, kwamba imekuwa siasa ya Wakikuyu, 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 Wakikuyu everywhere. Hapa sasa unamtaja mtu kumgusa maini. Yaani kuna wale ambao wanatoa swag na Hassan Omar kwamba uongozi fulani na uongozi fulani huo ndio ambao ndio mbaya zaidi haswa na hawa watu hawafai. So imeonekana sasa unalenga jamii, lawama zimetoka hata kwa Uhuru zimeenda mpaka kwa jamii nzima. Sasa ikifikia pale ni kwamba mmeshindwa, na kama mmeshindwa basi tuiteni kwenye meza tuelekeze njia ya kufanya, kwa sababu tupo, hata kama ni msaafa na haki ya kuelekeza mawazo yake, ili hili taifa lisimame katika njia ambayo itakuwa ni ya kuheshimiana, taifa ambalo litakuwa la kujadiliana, taifa ambalo litakuwa la umoja, ili kuweza kuzima huu moto ambao sasa umewashwa na UDA pamoja na Kenya Kwanza, sio na viongozi wale ambao wanafungamana na rais. Tena yanazungumzwa machoni alipo haswa, na hakuna chochote ambacho kinazungumzwa. Kwa maana hiyo mimi naweza nikaungana na mheshimiwa Uhuru haswa kwamba ni haki. Hata mimi msimamo ningeombea sasa, kama imekushinda nchi niambie nimeshindwa na hapa na hapa. Na najua siku zote kaka yangu, usitukane mamba kabla hujavuka mto. Ni mbaya sana kutukana mamba kabla hujavuka mto. Wewe uko katikati ya mto unatukana mamba, na hawa walifanya hivyo, walitukana mamba. Kwa hiyo kumfesi ile ambaye sasa yule mtangulizi kwamba jamaa, hapa tumekwama, ulikuwa unafanya namna gani mali kama hapa? Kwa sababu hakuna mtu ambaye anajua kabisa, lazima ufanye makosa ama ufundishwe ndio ujue. Sasa hao waliingia na kifua kwamba kila kitu wanajua, everything. Hawataki ushauri, si watu wa kushaurika, ni watu ambao wanajua sana. Ndio maana lawama ni nyingi badala ya nini, ya matendo. Na wakikosolewa, wakiulizwa maswali, wanakuwa wakali kwamba sisi tunalengwa, fulani na fulani hivi. Lakini unakuta hata wao wenyewe ahadi ambazo wamezimimina kwa Wakenya, tukianza kuzihesabu hapa kaka, na yale mamilioni tukianza kuyakalculate mpaka sasa hivi, basi so nitaachia pale kaka, kwamba hii ni ishara ya kushindwa kwa uongozi, ndio maana unaishia katika lawama. But Uhuru ako sawa kama kiongozi, kwa sababu yale alizungumza ni ya taifa, yanaleta ule utaifa na yanaondoana na mgawanyiko ambao ulikuwa ushaenezwa na hawa ndugu zetu, kwamba chochote kibaya kimletwa na hawa jamaa. Asante.
Okay, thank you so much. Marco Bura, President Uhuru Kenyatta has always been a thorn, especially to the UDA, especially those who are supporting the president. And maybe this could be based on where he comes from, that is Mount Kenya. And for some good reason now, President William Ruto tended not to have a favoring percentage on Mount Kenya. With Uhuru Kenyatta coming out and even telling the people of Mount Kenya that I want you, and coming out now publicly, and also after even the intimidation of saying that we are going to withdraw his benefit, and he still comes out, what implication does this one have, especially on President William Ruto? And how can President William Ruto handle the issue of Uhuru Kenyatta? Should he attack him politically, or should he just keep quiet and let his soldiers, foot soldiers, to attack President Uhuru?
Okay. Thank you. First, I want hii mambo ya I mean the issue of the former president. First, let me just put it clear that in every government, in every dispensation of government that we do have, you know, these leaders they do come up with what we call an agenda. And remember, that is what they've always sold to the people.
Mhm.
You remember the famous Jubilee 10 Gender Point. Do you remember the famous uh, what was it called? Azimio 10 Agenda Point. You remember the famous code.
Mm.
You know, those are part of the arrangements or the structures that are usually placed by political parties. And those structures is laying down or is giving a clarification of what the plan is for that particular government. So, whenever you see a government drifting off from a platform that they've set, because, well, the challenge that we've ever had in this country is we've seen leaders coming up with a narrative, but they don't stick with it. We've seen them selling an agenda that is not neither theirs nor something
Mm.
that can be implemented. That has been the biggest challenge. We've seen some, for example, speaking about this country that they're now telling us that we are going to uh, uh, getting
Mhm.
the country that they're telling us that Kenya is headed towards that direction, Singapore.
Okay.
For example, Singapore. For Singapore to get to where it is, they had a structure, they had a vision, and they had a line, and they followed it. If you have a vision and you're following the vision, automatically, if you don't get it today, tomorrow you will wake up knowing that I left it at this particular point. I need to continue with it. But the moment you see leaders coming in, let's say for example here in Kenya,
Yeah.
the problems of Kenya are not that Kenyans are not doing their part. It is the government that is not doing their part. Look at, for example, the government of William Samoei Ruto. William Samoei Ruto was a deputy since
Mm.
2010. And this is somebody who has been a deputy and he has the knowledge, he knows the challenges. Why would he then come in as the president in 2022 and then he starts saying that, NHIF is not working? He starts saying that, oh, the privatizations in what is not working. No, let us be factual, let us be truthful. My question here is this is somebody who knows the challenges. Why can't you attack the challenges based on realities? Why is it
Mm.
that you're coming up with another version of NHIF to SHA?
Mm.
You're
Mhm.
changing the name, spending billions of money to change the name, to change
Mhm.
the logos, to change the colors, and yet this is something that you've been surely. Are we? And then when you tell us we are headed to Singapore, and then another president comes, and then
But
he's also going to say that I don't want this share.
but
This I'm taking it back to NHIF, and then they're going to spend the same money.
Marco Bura,
Surely,
if you look at um, maybe the history where we've come from, and do you tend to believe that the problems that the country is facing right now, or the challenges that the country is facing, is because of President William Ruto, or there are some of the challenges that he inherited from the previous government?
no, there's nothing like he inherited.
Hmm.
This is a narrative. To me, it is a way of leaders trying to justify the negativities that they're doing within their government.
Mm.
Today, I understand. Currently, for example, if you give me a chance to become a president of this republic,
Mm.
The truth of the matter is, I'll get there and things are messed up. That is a fact.
Yeah.
But if I get there, I get things are messed up. Brother Benson, I can I can be understood by the electorates. I've not been there when those messes were being made. But this is somebody, number two, when the messes were being made, when they were doing what? He was there. He never resigned. If suppose he wants some justification out of it, he never did that. Even for heaven's sake, he was there. He was part of that cabinet. If Vitus Ilebo, he was there, he should answer. Why would you sit with somebody who is thieving, who is stealing things, and you're comfortable in that government? Well, why did they seek the re-election together?
Mm.
It is easy kusoma mtu, kusoma binadamu. If you cannot work with them, you can see it from the first day. This is something that you would have seen if suppose the President William Samoei Ruto wants to be justified and he wants to be left out of the fact that the problems he has inherited is not part of it. But the truth of the matter is part of it. He knew this.
Mm.
For example, Professor Kithure Kindiki, he knows where he has gotten into. If suppose he becomes president in 2027, 2032, he is part of these challenges. He is part of this problem. He is part of, if things were looted, he is part of it. So the
Mm.
president should, I think the political class, they speak to the normal citizens as if, citizens are not learned, as if they have no knowledge. They do
Mm.
not know what structures are there. They do not understand everything in this particular country.
Okay.
And that
All
is
right.
where they miss. And
Okay.
to me, if let me tell you, Brother Ben, again, my
Mm.
understanding of what leadership is all about. If you are criticized by your opponent, opponents of opposition, more so according to our country, the constitution gives a clarity. The opposition, they oppose. But even if they are opposing,
Yeah.
sometimes most of these successful countries, the opposition is what has made those particular countries to be either get massive development or economic growth because oppositions are there to test you and to remind you of what you might be planning to do wrong or what you might have did something that you might have done wrong. But as much as they're reminding you, you're supposed to look into these proposals that they're giving and then analyze based on your agenda because you have experts as well. It is not always the president who makes the final and everything. You can never be, he's a president, but Kenya has several departments. You cannot make the decisions for all the departments. Leave the experts, give the experts again a chance to
Mm.
advise you and listen to them. These things are, something else that I've ever known personally as a human being is if let me just give you a car can be made from scratch,
Mhm.
starting from the scraps until it
Yeah.
is built, until it can carry people, it can move to a certain speed. You can be told that this is safe, and they can do tests to it and confirm to you that this is the rating of this particular machine. The same way, they are experts in the scrap, they are experts in the wiring, they are experts in the LED light. Whenever these particular people are sitting together, coming
Mhm.
up with the new generations,
Mm.
each and every department, they sit down, they do an analysis. What else? What new can we bring? You see? And then they combine their minds. But as much as, for example, Toyota is known, there are brains behind that Toyota. They are
Yeah.
never maybe in the forefront, but they are listened to. Whatever we are seeing as the brand of Toyota, there are people who are doing it. There is a mechanic, there is a wiring person who is doing that. The designs that we are seeing. So we have to give experts an opportunity as well to showcase their professionalism. That is my take.
All right. Thank you so much Mr. Makobura. Msimamo, labda swali tu nikuulize kwa sababu ukiangalia siasa baina ya siasa ambayo labda inaonekana ukiangalia Rais William Ruto na aliyekuwa rais wa awamu wa 4, that is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, labda kunaweza kuwa kuna jambo lipo isipokuwa siasa, kwa sababu kulingana na matamshi yale labda ama kukosoaji ambapo tunaona kwamba Rais Uhuru Kenyatta amekuwa akikosoa sana sana mara mingi sana sana serikali ya Rais William Ruto. Kunakuwa labda kuna kitu zaidi ya siasa ambayo sisi tunajua, ama labda sisi hatujui nasema.
Mimi yangu ni fupi kabla uondoke kaka, ni hili. Unajua alioanza ni Ruto 2017 mpaka 2022 akiwa pale pale kwa serikali, kikwazo kilikuwa ni Uhuru. Uhuru kufanya jambo la mbolea, hakutaka watu wapigane, akapeana swad, akapeana taaluma, akaondoka kanda zake. Bwana, mimi kama nilikuwa mfano, kama mimi sifai, wewe utafaa zaidi, haya nchi ndio hiyo. Sasa ameshindwa na kuidrive. Kwa sababu kuna haja gani wewe unamtongoza jamii, unamtongoza msichana, lakini sasa baada uzungumza yako Benson, nazungumza ya kwangu. Hata wewe mbona msimamo unampenda kwa nini? Utazungumza yako ama utazungumza mamo? Mbona Ruto asitengeneze nchi, aachane kabisa na blaming yanayoleta swa ya huyu mgata kama anafanya yake. Huku ni kuonyesha basi ni kushindwa. Alipewa nchi, aling'ang'ana, akakipiga kifua, anajua zaidi, atafanya mazuri zaidi, akaahidi wa Kenya chungu nzima. Alikuwa anakosoa kila jambo linalofanywa na serikali. Tulikuwa hapa na akiwa ndani ya serikali. So for real, hili jambo halijaanza leo tu, unaona. So Uhuru sawa yake kuzungumza, bwana, yeye taifa nimekupa, nilikuachia sio uongozi, fanya yako. Kama kuna mahali mimi sijafanya, fanya. Kama kuna mahali nilikuwa huyu nini kinamzuia asifanye hivyo? Uhuru anamshikia na wapi? Intelligence anayo, power anazo. Uhuru analipi tena hapo ambalo linamsumbua? Ni kwa sababu hafungamani na yeye. Na kama hafungamani na yeye, alianza ni yeye, kwa sababu yeye ndo alimtia, ndo alimruka 2017 2022 tulimshuhudia aswa akimpinga, aswa akivaa viatu vya upinzani ndani ya serikali. Kwa hiyo ndo alimruka, yeye ndo alimuacha na akapiga kifua wa Kenya, nipeni nchi mimi nipeleke haswa vizuri zaidi ya huyu. Nitamjali bodaboda, nitamjali mama mboga, nitamjali mwananchi wa kawaida. Mwananchi wakatengeza matumaini hapo. Kwa hiyo muona ni nini kinamzuia akasimfanyie mwananchi alomwaahidi bodaboda? Ni nini ni nini kinamzuia? Uhuru anamzuia na lipi?
Okay.
Kwa hiyo kaka, jambo langu ni fupi tu kwamba ashindwaye haache, sababu huku ni kushindwa. Uhuru hana makosa yoyote kimtazamo wangu, kwa sababu yeye ni mwananchi wa kawaida. Sasa hivi ni party leader tu, ni ile kwamba na ile heshima kwamba ni rais mstaafu, haitaondoka automatically mazima. Lakini ukiangalia vita vilikuwa vingi, haswa tu wa Uhuru. Jubilee hii tuliona venye ambavyo ilikuwa imegawanywa mara mbili, Jubilee kina Sabina Chege na Jubilee kina Kioni. Yaani haya ambayo yametokea ODM ndo yale aliyotokea haswa awali kwa Jubilee. Tuliona haswa mtoto wa Uhuru Kenyatta akiingiliwa haswa na maaskari. Tuliona haswa haya yote. Kwa hiyo tusijaribu kuona kwamba kuna vita vyao binafsi vinako ndani. Na sasa hivi ni vibaya mno, kwa sababu wameingia jamii nzima, kwamba Kenya waone chanzo cha shida ya Kenya ni uongozi wa Wakikuyu. Kwa hiyo hawafai haswa tena kupewa viongozi. Na tukisema kwamba Benson aache rais Ruto aache kumwattack, atumie wale wananchi wake kuweza kumwattack, si ni pale pale tu kuchukua mzigo kwenye kichwa kurugesha kwenye mbega, kwa sababu tayari anafanyika machoni kwa huyo rais, ambapo mambo mengine hayafai haswa kuzungumzwa, kwa sababu yanaleta haswa hili taifa katika anarchy, katika mgawanyiko ambao kwa kweli haswa utakuwa ni ngumu haswa, kwa sababu haizi kuwa kwa hatuwezi, jamii nyingine haiwezi tengwa hivi hivi tu, unaona, kwa sababu uongozi uliopo haufungamani na wao. So kwa kweli haina haja kutumia nani wala nani, wafanye kazi kwa wananchi. Mwananchi anahitaji kuona kwamba elimu imeboreshwa, afya imeboreshwa, watu hawafi kama wanavyokufa kama nzige sasa hivi. So kuna mengi kakangu Ben. Kwa hiyo mimi sio nilawama kwamba ilikuwa kwa Uhuru. Hawa waliochokoza tangia awali ndio wana tatizo. Asante.
Okay, sawa sawa. Asanti. Labda ndugu yangu Makubura, kama una swali ama uko na jambo labda unaweza sema kabla tufunge mazungumzo yetu ya leo. Kesho tajaribu nilete mwanasiasa fulani, najaribu kumtafuta atoke Kisumu atuambie mambo iko vipi kule Kisumu, kwa sababu tunajua kwamba kuna mkutano ya hadhara ambao ukienda katika mtandao utapata kwamba wanaipigia upato zaidi kubwa. Watakuwa wanasema kwamba watakuja kufanya declaration watakuja kufanya declaration pale Kisumu, na vile vile tunajua Linda Mwananchi itakuwa kule nchini kaunti ya Machakos, na ukumbuke pia ODM walisema kwamba sasa hawatakuwa na Linda ground. Makubura, labda jambo la mwisho
Okay.
kabisa na uweke kifupi kidogo.
Okay. So I would like to give my final take on I'm a concerned citizen,
Mm.
and I believe that we can do better. We can do better, and more so for the young people, the youths of this republic. I think we have to be out there to speak about the future of this country. We have to participate because it is not easy. If we are not going to speak, then the current political class are going to mess up with our future. But again, it is a warning to the people at the helm today. They might not observe what the constitution, and they might not consider what the future holds. But again, I can particularly put it here that even if it gets worse in future, it will get worse to them. So it is prudent enough for them to come out and ensure that they do what is right, because this country belongs to us. This country belongs to our children. This country belongs to our grandchildren. It belongs to the future that is coming. We, as per what, because I mean, even the Bible says that the main reason why we are existing is partly to make change, to bring positive things on the world. We leave it better than we found it. I think that is what we're supposed to focus on.
All
That
right.
would be my parting shot.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Makobura and Msimamo, for taking your time to have a short conversation with us. Tomorrow we'll be here, and I'm working on how to get one of the leaders, especially from ODM, youthful aspirant, so that we can have a conversation and get his take to know what is happening in ODM and what is his plan, especially as he will be vying for a political office. To everyone who was with us, especially on the Facebook platform, YouTube, and any other platform that we were streaming on, let me take this opportunity to thank you all. And we are just reminding you, this is Brother Benson Media, and we are also streaming live on Kikao na Sauti, so you can get us on those two platforms. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow, same place, same time. Thank you so much.